Welcome back to Nationwide. We're this evening we're in County Cork with stories about choirs and singing. Now, the Duhallow Choral Society was set up in 19 and culture. Over the last 27 years, they have toured Ireland and Europe. Our reporter Zaina Bolladale popped in during rehearsals.
I think that, you know, music, it's good for the heart and it's good for the soul. And every time I leave this building, you know, I just feel that much more at peace with myself, and I just feel fulfilled and satisfied.
There's an enchanting feeling that comes with listening to a symphony of voices fill the air in what was once a church that's over 200 years old.
Well, Zainab, it's quite a wonderful story as to how this, or why this church came to be renovated. It really goes back to medieval times when the McAuliffes were the people that lived in this area until they were dispossessed in the 17th century and spread throughout the world. And then in the 1990s, we had a McAuliffe clan rally, and then later there was a chieftain elected, and the chieftain of the clan bought this church for the clan and for the local community, which is a fantastic act of altruism, there's no doubt. And I got the job of organising the restoration, and it did take 10 years, but we did accomplish it. And the workmanship was just fantastic.
Since the restoration of what is now called the Chultúrlann in Newmarket Village, locals use this space as a multifunctional community hub. This evening, the members of the Duhallow Choral Society are slowly arriving dressed in their formal uniforms.
The uniform, of course, it's about 9 or 10 years old now, and but we have it has separate attachments. For Christmas time, we wear red and we wear green sometimes when we travel and represent Ireland. We wear purple sometimes around Easter. So they're quite interesting because you can take off the attachments and have a different look.
The choir has 80 members. They gather every Tuesday to rehearse, and since 2007, they've been trained by South African musical director Sharon Reedy.
We try to do as varied a programme as possible. We have two terms to our year. So from September until Christmas, we rehearse a Christmas repertoire, because you normally do about 4 or 5 Christmas concerts in the month of December. And then in January we have rehearsals then heading up towards our summer concerts. And so I try to keep it as varied as possible, so that it'll appeal mostly to the audience that we have, as well as to the members, and keep them interested, because their ages range from very young to not so very young. So it's important to try and keep as much of a mix as we can.
Bridget Daly is one of the founding members of the choir. She herself has always had a deep love of music, and she has played a key role in growing this choir and keeping the show on the road.
So when I came from Kilkenny to live here in Duhallow, I married a local farmer, Charles Daly, and it was always in my heart that I wanted to start up a choir. So I happened to be working for the health board at the time as a public health nurse, and I was involved in health promotion projects, and so I was asked to go on the board of IRD Duhallow, a leader-funded group. And on that group, I saw the opportunity to avail of funding, so I knew then I would be able to set up the choir. I suppose it's a little bit unusual to see out in a rural area a choir of our calibre. You know, it's mixed popular, classical and traditional music, but mainly more classical music. So I suppose you'll meet big choirs in cities and towns, but I suppose to see it in a rural area, and we're coming from about a 60-mile radius. They're coming in from Kerry and from everywhere. So it is, I suppose it is unusual that it has taken off so well. And I think we have a real hearted spirit in the choir.
Some of their travels have brought them to Wales, Italy, and even the United States. Their performances are a way for them to fundraise for charities.
Duhallow Choral Society sang at a fundraiser in my local parish, which is Churchtown, and I compared the night for them. It was a fundraiser for the local school, and when I heard them I was just so taken aback because they make an absolutely beautiful sound. So it piqued my interest straight away. I've always enjoyed singing. I sang when I was in school. I always enjoyed it. And I was accosted by Bridget to join, as she's always looking for new members. And I joined them several years later, about 3 years later when I joined them.
I came the first night. It was to get away from my two busy, loud children at home. I had one boy with special needs and another lad with colic, so I saw it as an escape. And the first night at choir, Bridget asked me to collect the money at the door, which I did, and I got the job of lodging the money, and the following week she told me, she said, "Okay, Marie, you're our treasurer," and I've been treasurer since.
I come from a family who was very, very interested in music. We always were singing. So when the choir was founded, I heard it, and 4 weeks later I was in the choir.
And what keeps you coming back?
What comes back? My friends. We are all friends for 23 years. And we help each other and we sing together, and for those 2 hours you forget everything.
Well, 27 years, it's a sense of identity and a sense of ownership and a sense of challenge, constant challenge. What we're doing now is so amazing and so good, and I love the challenge. I'm not a perfect, natural singer. I'd sing at the drop of a hat, but I often get a dig kind of saying, well, you're out a bit. My wife always says, when I'd be practicing at home, keep at it. But I do love the challenge, and that's what keeps me coming back.
In 2026, the Duhallow Choral Society will mark 3 decades in action. A huge milestone that shows the power of community spirit.
What uplifting singing there from the Duhallow Choral Society. And if you want more information, you can go to their Facebook page.